First person asked me, how do you best deal with disrespectful behaviors such as flakes and dates getting other guys' numbers in front of you? And so this is, I clarified, this is about in-person connections. Okay, so I think there's two different questions there I'll answer. One with dealing with flakes and one with somebody that's trying to get a number while on a date with you, because that actually happened to me. Uh, okay, so in terms of dealing with flakes, I think the first thing is we have to assume, because that's all we can do, that the first time if somebody was to cancel on us or reschedule, that it is for good reason. And we have to believe what they say most of the time. I think it's a good thing to do. You never know, especially now for the next couple months. People are in the wrong headspace. There's so much going on. I've been talking to clients who need to reschedule at times because they're stressed or something's happening in their life. So I think first and foremost, if somebody was to, in general, reschedule or say they can't make a plan and it's the first time they've done it, I think it's fine. There's one caveat I'll talk about, but generally I would just say something like, hey, no sweat, I understand things happen, and then suggest another time. Like, hey, I'm free next Thursday instead. Would that work for you? Uh, and I think, if somebody's interested in you and genuinely interested, then they're going to agree to that next suggestion, or they're going to try to reschedule or say, I'm not free Thursday, but how about, Friday instead? They're not going to make it really difficult. I think that's one thing guys always ask me about is like, well, what if I suggest something else and she's not available? I think at that point, if you're like, hey, we made plans, okay, you canceled, how about this plan instead? And then they're still not kind of acknowledging that or giving you some other time, they're probably not interested. Now, the one caveat I think is where it is like really last minute or even after the fact. Okay, so like you confirmed the date. Okay, always in general, I like to confirm plans within 24 hours. So I'll just send a message like, hey, excited to grab, coffee and take a walk tomorrow. It's going to be a beautiful day. Send. And just get them to acknowledge, hey, yeah, great. I'm excited too. See you soon. I would never show up to a date that's scheduled unless within the last 24 hours we've agreed upon it again. Just because somebody said it 4 days ago doesn't mean anything. And I think the worst thing is if you just show up and nobody's there and you didn't know. So I think the one caveat is if somebody is like within an hour, half an hour before date where you're already ready and already maybe even on the way, or they just don't show up and then they apologize, oh my God, I forgot. That is where I think you should address it directly. And I think you should, again, I wouldn't try to freak out on them or get upset. I would give them genuinely the benefit of the doubt, but I would also assert my boundaries and say, hey, listen, I understand stuff happens, but just to be honest, my time's really valuable and, canceling on last minute really messes with my day. And that's not something that's great with me or that's not really cool. Just something that says like, you don't have to say an ultimatum like you need to make this up to me or why did you do it? I think you just need to express how you felt about it. Hey, listen, I understand things happen, but to cancel on me last minute when I'm already on my way and I've, rescheduled other plans or I've scheduled this and didn't schedule other plans, it really messes up my time. And just see how they acknowledge that. If they're genuinely sorry and they want to make another plan, probably give them the benefit of the doubt. If they don't even acknowledge it or they put it back on you and they say, well, I can't, figure out my time, then I think you have to determine like, do you want to go on a date with somebody who is not respecting your time or not even acknowledging that they did something disrespectful?